Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, nice to meet you. My name is Reija and I'm a huge makeup addict, especially eyeshadow and especially colorful eyeshadow, as you can see from the look today. And today it's time for 2023 eyeshadow palette declutter. And yeah, if you like to see, was I brutal? How much did I get rid of? Then please keep on watching. Hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you of every new upload. And now let's go declutter some eyeshadow palettes. Okay, let's start this eyeshadow palette declutter. I have few indie brands and such on the table now, so let's start with Unearthly Cosmetics. This is the Dead of Night palette that I just did a review a little while ago. I absolutely love this palette, love this color story. Definitely going to keep this one. It's just so beautiful. And then another Unearthly palette that I have is the Bunnies palette that I swapped with Tia for the I can't remember, but the dark palette, then something night it was. I'm so bad. Yeah, anyway. I also really like this palette, but I don't see myself using this a lot. I have another pastel palette that I use rather than this one. The shimmers are beautiful and such, but I just don't reach for this one, so I'm going to declutter this one. Then I have two Juvia's Place palettes. This is the Zulu by Juvia's. This one I also got from Tia. I haven't actually, this is probably the only palette that I haven't actually used yet, so I'm going to keep it and test it. But like, yeah, I don't know. I want to test it out. It's used palette, but yeah, I want to test it out. And then I have the Valhalla, the first Valhalla palette from Juvia's Place. I have done a couple looks with this. I haven't tried the pressed glitters and I want to try them before I get rid of this palette. Like, I like the color story, it's beautiful, but like, I don't know, there's just something in it that doesn't make me want to use it. But I do want to try the glitter formula, so I'm going to do a look with this with the glitter, and then depending on what do I feel like, I'm going to declutter it or keep it, but for now I'm going to keep it. Then I have a couple Chic Glam palettes, and actually I think I have like decluttered two of these last year, or I said I will do Is It Too Old for Friday with them and then declutter them, but I haven't done it. So this is the Chic Glam Ambitious Aquarius palette. This is the blue one of the horoscope. Is it horoscope or anyway the series? I'm going to declutter it. It's like nothing special. I have other blue palettes that I like more than this one, so I'm going to declutter this one. On the other hand, the Spontaneous Sagittarius from the same series I'm going to keep, and it's purely because of this glitter. Like, and this one has way more depth than the one that I just showed you before. So I'm going to keep this. I decluttered this last year and then I dig it back because of this glitter, and yeah, I love it. I'm going to keep it. And then I have the Chill Track palette, which I'm planning to give to one of my friend Kit, because this has low this one has low I have a word missing, low pigment in these shadows, and the shimmers aren't anything special, so I think this would be a good practice palette for her kids. And then I have the Pretty Fly palette from Chic Glam. This one, I like the cool color story in this one. This black is so pigmented, it's insane. Like all the looks that I've done with this when I've used the black I have ruined them with the black, and I don't reach for this. So, and the shimmers aren't anything special either, so I'm going to declutter this one. Okay, then this one will be difficult. These are the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop palettes. So I have Sherry on top, which is the red one, Cotton Candy, which is the pink purple one, Pistachio, which is the green one, and Bubblegum, which is the blue one. And I mean, I love these palettes, I love the quality of these, but I just don't reach for them. So I think it's time to give them or sell them to a better home where they get used. It's a shame because the formula is excellent in this one, but I just, you know, I just don't, I want more like something special in my shimmers now, and I don't want to keep them in my, just only because of the matte. The quality is excellent. I like it. They're very nice palettes. Then let's take this pile. So this one I have my Udensai palettes. So this was one of the, well, this was the first palette that I got from Udensai. This is the Elva palette, which is this kind of nude palette with some yellow in it, and I was like thinking that I could declutter this one, but now that I start working and I want to do a bit more like not so wham bam looks like for work, some neutral looks and some toned down looks, then this one will be handy, and the formula is excellent in this one, so I'm going to keep it because of that. And then this one I got same time. This is the Elva 2 Mini Ocean palette. I got those both in the mystery box the other year, last year or year before. And I mean, I love the formula in here. It's beautiful palette, but I just haven't reached for it. I just don't use it, so I'm going to declutter this one. And then I have the Sulmune 2 eyeshadow palette, which I actually used today. You have seen the look in my previous declutter videos. But yeah, this is one of my favorite palettes in my collection, and I definitely will be keeping it. I love the color story. The shimmers are so beautiful. Like, this is chef's kiss. Definitely keeping. And then I have the, what this was like, world something collection, 3 collab palettes with people. So first of all I have the Flora Story palette, which is collab with Makeup Just for One Fun, not one fun, and this is the color story. Also, this is very beautiful palette. Like I'm thinking of that I could use it as at work. I'm trying to I could use this at work, so I'm definitely keeping this one. It has like a muted colors that are not so bright. And then we have the Lauren May Beauty Sea Talk palette. Oh, this color story is my favorite from all of these 3. Very beautiful. I really love this. The yellow in here is like the perfect inner corner highlighter shade. So yeah, definitely keeping this one. The Udensai formula is exceptional. And then the Planet Spirit palette from Betty Jean. And this is this one I had a little bit of problems with. I'm now thinking that should I declutter this one? No, I'm gonna still keep it, but like it has very much mid-tone shades, so it's like hard to create a look with them. And then I have the two Cosmic Brushes palettes, Serenity and Delicious Delights. This is Serenity. Oh, beautiful. And this is the Delicious Delights. Also stunning. This one has multi-chrome in it. This one. And I'm definitely keeping this. This is affordable UK indie brand and very high quality shadows and affordable price, definitely. And then I have all my Beauty Bay palettes. First of all, I have the Pastels palette, which I'm never going to get rid of. This is the perfect palette for any time you need something to blend out some shades. This is handy, except if you have neutrals. So yeah, tons of use this one. This one has probably the biggest dents in my collection. And I really love the formula, and these are just perfect blending out shades. So I'm definitely keeping that one. And then I have the Berries palette. Also very beautiful palette. But do I use this? Not really. Like, I love the formula and the shades are beautiful, but I just don't reach for this, so I'll put this in the maybe pile. I'll go through all the things after I've done the declutter and see what do I think. And then I have the Book of Magic, which I'll never get rid of. This is my perfect color story. I love this palette. Oh, so beautiful. I got this second hand, but it was unused from Depop a couple of years ago. But yeah, this is no longer available, but this is such a beautiful color story. I just love this palette. So keeping that one. And then I have another 20 pound. This is the Retro Love palette. And I think I'm going to declutter this. I haven't touched it since I did the review, and this is something that, like, I don't remember that I have this in my collection. Like, I just keep forgetting that I have it, so I'm going to declutter it. Then I have the big palettes from Beauty Bay. This one, the Bright Mattes, never getting rid of this. If you have been in my channel for a while, you know that I'll try to do every Friday. I do a series where I take one older palette and this Beauty Bay Bright Mattes, and I play palette bingo with them. So yeah, this is just a perfect match, every color you could need. So definitely keeping this one. Actually, I'm gonna do Is It Too Old for Friday with this before I'm going to declutter it. So, and then I have the Beauty Bay Fiery 2.0, which looks like this. And keeping this one, it has very nice neutrals and like some muted berry tones. This is also the kind of palette that I think I could use with my for my work looks. And then I have the Nude palette, and this is definitely staying. This is definitely a palette for work looks. Just such a beautiful neutral palette. The shimmers aren't too like impactful for work. In case it's a religious place where I'm working, so I have to be a little bit, well, I don't have to be, but I want to be a bit muted. So keeping that one. Then I have the Bright 2.0, which is another rainbow palette. Ah, love this color story. Definitely keeping this one. Just need to use stuff more. And then my other of my favorite palettes of Beauty Bay Midnight never going to get rid of this one. It's just such a perfect color story for me. I absolutely love this. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, by the way, all these big palettes are permanent line. So yeah, you can get these still. Love this palette. Oh, Beauty formula is just so beautiful, and they have amped up their shimmers lately too. And then the earthy from that series where they had the midnight earthy and the berries. So this one has all the greens that you could dream of and some neutrals. I'm keeping this because I want to have a green option too, even though the green isn't my favorite color. The only thing that I don't like about this palette is that it doesn't have any true grass green shimmer. Something like this. Like, why? I don't get it, but yeah, keeping that. And then last one, before I take a little break, is the Be Perfect Carnival Interstellar palette. And yeah, you know, this was my favorite palette last year, so I'm definitely keeping it. I haven't used it tons, but it's just such a beautiful, perfect palette. And this formula is stunning. It's like pressed glitter, but it's not pressed glitter. Beautiful. Definitely keeping this one. So that was the beginning of the video. I'm gonna now put these back in the shelf and get new ones out, and then I'll film the next part. Okay, the second part of the eyeshadow palette declutter. I have only 2 BH Cosmetics palettes anymore. This is the Do Not Disturb, and the point of this palette series was that when you open it, you can read it. So this is this color story. It's such a beautiful palette, but you know, I'm just not reaching for it. It's a beautiful, very beautiful color story, and the formula is very nice too, but I'm just not reaching for it anymore. So decluttering that one. And then I have the Venom of the Poison collection. Such a beautiful grayish palette with some like blue, no, plummy maybe, little reddish shimmer in here, and I'm going to keep it. This one is one of my favorite shades in my collection. It's like an white blue. Oh, such a beautiful shade. Definitely going to keep that palette. And then I have my only palette from Clarity Cosmetics. This is the Evil Mermaid. Oh, the shimmers are so stunning in this palette. The mattes, I had a bit of trouble with blending them, but I like this shimmer so much that I'm going to definitely keep this one. Why is this in here? It's in the wrong place. Okay, then I have my pile of Gourmand Girls Cosmetics. This is the Galactic Gourmand, which is all shimmer palette. Stunning. Oh, so beautiful. It has duochromes and I think 2 multichromes. Really love this palette. As you can see, I have a huge dent in that one. You can't see it the way I see it. I'm so bad at showing this. I don't know if you can see it in the mirror there. A bit, yeah. Oh, that's such a beautiful palette. Definitely keeping this one. Then I have the 2 doodles by the Bunny collabs with Gourmand Girls, and I actually bought just the 3rd one. The Haunted one came to Monolith today, so my boyfriend bought it for me. Anyway, so these are the Spooked, which was last year's Halloween palette, and it's it's been selling out ever since it's again sold out. I don't know is it in monolith, but yes, this is such a beautiful palette. One of my favorite palettes. Yes, last year really loved this formula. Format Girls has upped their formula a lot in last like a year and a half or so. Really love this palette, definitely keeping this. And then the Nightshade palette just came a little while ago. I mean, in my review I said this is the best palette of the year this far, and I still think so. And it will be very hard to get over this. We'll see what the Haunted says. It's pretty nice color story too. But I absolutely love this palette and definitely going to keep this one. And then I have the Radioactive, which is also all shimmer palette. Also really love this. Definitely going to keep this one. I just love these shades. It's so beautiful. Yeah. What can I say when I see something shiny? And then I have the Warriors Wear Pink, which also came out a little while ago. This was collaboration with Syria Soto, which in Instagram, and she is battling with breast cancer. So this is like a breast cancer awareness palette, and part of the proceeds go to her to help her financially. I really love this color story. The shadows are such beautiful, and I love that it's not all pink and red, but it has some purple in it too, and some light neutrals. Really beautiful palette. Going to keep it. And then I have a couple older palettes that I think I'm going to declutter. So this is the This Time of Year palette. Also such a beautiful palette. The formula isn't as nice, and I have broke one shade it seems. My shimmers, especially this one, and then these two are stunning. But yeah, I think I'm going to declutter this one. Actually, let me see. I think I pressed that shadow again. Maybe I'll just keep this one because I can't sell it with the broken shadow, so I'll just keep it. And then I have the Spectra. This is the collaboration with Crystal Rice Makeup. This one, the shimmers aren't so special, and I mean it's a very nice palette. It's easy to work with and such, and I love the pop of neon yellow in here, but yeah, I'm going to declutter this one. And then I have my Nomad palettes. First I have the Provence palette. A beautiful color story. I love this. So Nomad is an destination-based brand. They have visited all the places that they're doing the palettes for, and I just love this. This, especially this cool tone side, is very nice, like muted. I could also use these at my work, and maybe pop of yellow shimmer on such. It's like this is nice muted but colorful palette, and yeah, I'm going to keep this. And then this is my favorite Nomad palette. This is the Whistler Snow Lodge. Absolutely love this color story. It's so beautiful. I did so beautiful looks with this one, and yeah, I'm definitely going to keep this one. Beautiful formula and such. Like Nomad Cosmetics is just same as with the Gourmand Girls. Then I have the Royal Europe from Nomad, and this was the first time that they did multichromes in their palette. So the whole bottom row is multichromes, and these are very dark, like jewel tones. The only problem with this is that I would like it to have more lighter shades, because these are very dark shades and they're very pigmented, so it's hard to get like nice blend with this palette. So this is more like that I would need a companion palette with this one to be able to use it. The duochromes, I mean the multichromes, are beautiful. I'm trying to show you some so, but yeah, keeping it. And Nomad Cosmetics, the packaging is always stunning. Then I have the Paradise Islands palette, also such a beautiful color story. Definitely keeping this one. Love the blues in here, love the greens in here, and oh, it's just so beautiful palette. And then I have Monteverde Cloud Forest palette. This packaging is also, I broke it, so I'm going to get rid of this packaging. I was saving it, but because I broke it, well, we'll see. I don't know. Come out. So this one is like an rainforest. It's like a green palette with pops of color as flowers, and the green is of course the forest. Such a beautiful palette. Also, this has been a favorite palette of Nomads for many people, but it's not my favorite. It's just that because, you know, it's mainly green palette, and green isn't my favorite color color, but yeah, liking it and keeping it. And then the last Nomad palette that I have is the Love and Dead Verona palette. Amore e Morte. This one, I love the packaging. It opens like this. So there you have the warm side, and there you have the cool side. Such a beautiful palette. I absolutely love this palette. Definitely not gonna get rid of it. Did this come last year or this year? I don't know, but I've done one of my favorite looks of all times with this palette. It's just such a beautiful. The only problem with this one had that some of the shadows were more hardly pressed than the others. For example, this one for me was hardly pressed, and I think this one, but I forgot to say that most of the palettes I have bought myself. But when I made a review of this, Nomad Cosmetics contacted me and offered me to send another palette, and I said I don't want to. I want new palette because I got it to work. So then they told me to choose one instead, so that I chose the Snow Lodge palette, Whistler Snow Lodge palette, and they sent me that. That's the only palette that I had got like an... No, the Radioactive also I got as a gift. So those two were gifts, but otherwise, yeah, I bought everything myself, and this is really nice palette. I have made a mistake. Like this table doesn't, I can't get anything out there, it just won't go away. Okay, then I have my only P. Louise palette. This is the Going Solo palette, which is the gray palette. I just don't get it. Why doesn't it have black? Anyway, I'm going to declutter this one because I just don't reach for it, and I saved already one gray palette, the Venom palette, and then I have another black gray palette coming, so this one has to go. Then I have the Pink Rush Cosmetics Lucid Dreams palette. I really like this. It's not the best formula that I have tried, but it's very beautiful, and the shimmers in here are absolutely stunning. But I think I've got my use out of it, and I'm going to declutter and sell this one. It's a really nice formula though, so if you haven't tried Pink Rush Cosmetics, go check them out. They're not even that expensive either. And then I have my Close Quartz palette. Another one is the What's Your Power palette. That one shade is broken, and it has broken even more now. So the orange matte is broken. This is a also pastel palette, very nice. I'm just trying to, you know, what is this camera doing? there. But as you can see, this is a problem with many palettes that have very like creamy shimmers. They sieve this kind of oil around the palette. It's like it doesn't change the feeling of the shadow or anything, but it just doesn't look very nice. So yeah, but I like this palette. It has such a beautiful shimmer, so I'm definitely keeping this one. And then I have the new neutrals, which is just such a perfect neutral color story. This shade has dried up, and I contacted them because it was already a year-old palette by then. This has 2-year shelf life, and they told me that they can't refund me anymore after that much time, but I got 20% off, and I bought this palette. But this is just such a beautiful, like this is like a greeny shade. You can see it coppery, but I see it greeny, and this also is like a yellowy greeny shade, and like it's just so nice, like neutral palette with special shimmers. So keeping these two. I'm running out of space. Then I have a bunch of Lethal Cosmetics palettes. Let's start with the Jolina palette. So this was collaboration with Jolina. If I remember right, she's an or whatever a German influencer. So this is the palette. I've done like a couple looks with this, but it's like I just don't reach for this. It would be nice like an neutral color story, but I feel like I've saved so many really nice palettes for work looks, so I'm going to declutter this one. I got it in the mystery box. And then I have the Teresa is Lethal. It's a collaboration with Teresa is Dead on YouTube. It's just such a beautiful palette, and even though this is purple, it works very well deepening this shade or these shades up here. Oh, it's just such a beautiful palette, and the silver, like it's such a strong silver. This shade is so stunning. Like this is such a beautiful palette. I'm not going to get rid of this one. Then I have the Evergreen palette. Also very beautiful color story. I think these two blues are a bit too close one another. Same with these greens. They don't look that different on the eyes, but I really like the formula of Lethal. So, and like shimmers stunning, so I'm going to keep it. Oh, did I dug? I dug my nail in one. I'm such a danger to all my palettes, breaking them up. Then the last year they had the Night Flower palette, and this year they had the Wildflower palette. So this is the Night Flower palette. This is my like favorite palette from Lethal. It's just such a stunning color story. It goes very dark, it goes very light. The shimmers are perfect for this palette. I mean, oh, chef's kiss, such a beautiful. And Lethal is German indie brand, and all the palettes are depotable. This one I have glued the names of the shades in it, but now I have decided to start to save the sleeves. So the last two palettes I've saved the sleeves. This is the Wildflower palette that came out this year. The Night Flower was the first palette from Lethal that I own, and this is just such a nice continuance palette for the Wildflower palette. Oh, such a beautiful shades in this too. It's more lighter, more like springy and such, but you can work with this together very well. Such a beautiful palette, definitely keeping it. But then I have the After Dark palette. This is a lot older palette, And even though I love the color story and I love Lethal Cosmetics, I just don't see myself using this, so I'm going to declutter this one. What? Actually, I have put my palettes in the wrong place. So this one I'm going to declutter. Then I have my Sigma palette. This is the Alice in Wonderland palette, and I think I'm going to declutter this one. It's a beautiful palette. Like, this is the color story that I was happy to buy from Sigma, and the formula is stunning, but I just don't reach for it, so I'm going to declutter this one. And then I have the Glaminatrix Into the Night palette, which looks like this. Beautiful. Love this shade in here, like the blue to purple. Oh, this palette is just stunning, so definitely keeping this one. I just did a review of it a little while ago. And then I have the Artitude Color Splash palette. Did I do it? Is it too old for Friday with this one? I'm not sure. If I did, I'm going to declutter this one, but if I didn't, I'm going to do one and then declutter this one. I have the Colourpop Aurora Struck, and I didn't like this palette. It was so hard to work with this one, so I'm gonna do Is It Too Old for Friday with this, and then I'm going to declutter this one. And then I have the Plain Bunny Surge palette. Such a nice formula in this. I don't know, there's been some things that this is such a nice palette, and I love the way she layouts the palettes, like in the columns by shade. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one. And I have some smaller palettes. Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette, my first Natasha Denona and only, and I'm going to declutter this one. I just don't reach for it. It has nothing special to it, and I don't feel like the formula is special enough for me to keep it. Then I have the e.l.f. Nude Rose Gold. When I bought this when I did like a full face of e.l.f. Fullish face of e.l.f. And this is also such a nice palette for me to use at work, so I'm keeping it for that. Then I have a Colourpop Shell Shocked palette. This one I'm also going to keep because of work. This is like it, even though this looks dark, it's not dark. It's very light, like pastel shades, and I feel like it's very nice to do something colorful but very muted to work. I've already done one look with this for work. And then I have Lila Q a lot, which is broken. I mean, kind of broken. It gave to me like this, and stupid me, didn't contact. But like this is, I don't know. I could probably depot this one actually and put it in the singles. We'll see if I want to save some of the shimmers, but if not, then I'm going to declutter this one. And another Colourpop palette, the Flutter By. This is like a neutral palette, but again, it has pressed glitter in it, but again, I just don't reach for this anymore, so I'm going to declutter it. It has nice formula, but I'm just not using it. This one is a quite new addition. The black is the new black from Makeup Obsession, and this is the another grayish palette that I'm going to save. It has black and it has grays, and it has these like reddish tones that are really pretty, and it gives something different to the palette, and that's why I'm going to keep this one. And then I have Sample Beauty, the Hydrographic palette, which is pretty blue and purple. I'm not sure did I do Is It Too Old for Friday with this one, but same story. If I didn't, I will do that and then declutter this one. Last pile. So, and then I have a few KIITOS palettes that I bought from Tia. So this is Futurism 1 Sci-Fi Green. These Futurism palettes, I don't know what are still available, but they are selling them away and they're not coming back in stock. So this is the Futurism 1 Sci-Fi Green. And this is the Futurism 6 Lunar Lavender. This one I'm going to save because I did one of my favorite looks of all time with this palette. And this one I'm going to declutter. And then because I have this is the Flower Punk, and it has the crunchy greens that the Sci-Fi Green has, and plus the mints and some rosy tones. So I'm keeping this one instead of the Sci-Fi Green. Then I think I decluttered this last year too, but then I misplaced it and I just found it again. So this is the Ardell Pro Eyeshadow Palette Matte. So it has all matte browns, neutrals, and I've used it quite a lot, but I think I'm going to give this to my friend if she wants it, but not selling it because it's so old. Then I have two Ace Beauty palettes. So this is the Blossom Passion palette. Such a nice, beautiful color story. And then the other one is Classical Paradise. And I think same story with these ones. I'll do the Is It Too Old for Friday and then declutter them. Two more. Oh, one more Colourpop palette. This is the Control Alt Glam. This color story is so beautiful, but this shade is unworkable. Like, it doesn't work. It's so, like, see? Do you see anything in my finger? Like, no matter how hard I dig, you can barely see I have anything in my finger. And if you want to do like purpley look, this is very crucial for that. Also, the shimmers were a bit lackluster for me, so I'm decluttering this one. And the last one I have the Catrice Jungle Book, the Jungle Book Mother Nature's Recipes palette. And I like this palette. I hate the layout of it, but you know, otherwise I like it. The colors are beautiful, but I don't see myself using this instead of some other neutral palettes that I kept, so I'm going to declutter this one. So there you have it, all of the palettes. So I will go do some counting, how many did I get rid of and how many I kept, and we'll see you in outro. Okay, eyeshadow palette declutter is done for the year 2023, and I got rid of about 1/3 of my palettes. So I got rid of 23 eyeshadow palettes, I kept 48, and 5 palettes, well, I have actually checked now, it's only 4 palettes. I will do an Is It Too Old for Friday video before I declutter them. So yeah, about 1/3 of the palette. So do you think I did well? Would you have decluttered something that I didn't, or would you have kept something that I got rid of? And yeah, If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you of every new upload. And we will see you hopefully very soon. Bye!